Say yes to new beginnings.
Yes.
Say yes to new beginnings.
Yes.
Say yes to.
What is your take on the supposed corruption in the judiciary? As a senior advocate of Nigeria, does it really exist, or is it a figment of some people's imagination? I need your candid response.
There is no aspect of our lives, even in the church and the mosque, there is corruption. More corruption. There is more corruption in the church than in the judiciary. There is more corruption in the mosque than in the judiciary. But that's not to say that I'm excusing it. It is there. I have written so, and I'll continue to say so. The lawyers benefit more from that corruption than the judges themselves. When lawyers fail, they blame it on the judge. Incompetence is most of the time the problem for this case, and they turn around and blame it on the judges. Obviously, I'm telling you, if they do a kind of assessment, and if there was a way of punishing lawyers for their incompetence, many of our colleagues would have lost their certificates by now. But what did they do? The escape is the judge has taken bribe. I would say, listen, I have never given a bribe, but I have never lost. Why is that so? In any case, most of these judges that you are saying they are taking the bribe, they are still dying poor. The lawyers are making a kill. They are rich. And most of that riches is not coming from the fees. Why is that so? The judiciary, they have a way of taming their own, but we don't tame our own. When last have you heard of a lawyer being disciplined for corruption? But there can never be a corruption in any case without the involvement of a lawyer. The lawyer will know, but they look at the other way in betrayal of their calling. Mind you, we were called to the bar. We took an oath. I would tell you for free, a lawyer is supposed to be more honest and of a higher integrity quotient than a pastor. That is the way it is in the books. But we betray that, and who do we throw under the bus is the judges. I am not one of those people who would say so. The corruption there can be minimized if the bar starts checking its own and disciplining its own. And then it's for free. If $1 million is taken from a client, maybe not up to 100,000 will reach the judges. But at the end of the day, they say, the judges are corrupt. The judges are corrupt. Okay, now, as if it's a one-way thing. It's not. It's a three-way thing. The client, conniving client, the client, and the conniving lawyer are there. So I'm hoping that very soon we would beam our satellite on the activities of our colleagues, or all of us, so that by the time some of us start losing our certificates for corruption, what would I call it? We would have a better environment, and the judges would breathe.
Okay. Allow the judges to breathe.
Yeah.
All right. Now, having risen to the pinnacle of your profession,
yes,
what would be your advice to any young lawyer or an aspiring lawyer who also wants to get to the top?
Like I said, he has to be very disciplined, humble, ready to learn, organized, and he has to sacrifice social life. I would rather you spend your time reading law reports than reading the Bible. You will be a better person to God by reading the law than reading the Bible. I would rather you spend your time reading your cases, organizing yourself, than going to spend hours in church. I would also want you to stay less of your village meetings and let your networking be with people you can call on when you have cases. And I would also want you to develop yourself mentally, socially, than you wanting to gain public attention. Usually, I will tell you that for free, between the headline on a newspaper or on TV and 10,000 naira there that I'll put for my family, I'll prefer the 10,000. And therefore, my God, like I said, after the God who made me, is the law, and my loyalty and fidelity is, of course, to the law. If you have all of these habits, of course, you'll be a better advocate, you're a better communicator, and you would have all of those things to be a standard lawyer. Because in any case, even from within your colleagues, the testimonials of your colleagues and the judges that you appear before is usually your source of clients. Most clients, before they come to you, we don't advertise. You have clients through referrals. Somebody is going to tell you, go meet that lawyer. I've had clients come in and say, oh, a registrar of the Supreme Court or a registrar of this court said I should come and meet you and all of that. And the reason is simple. They've gone through, they were there watching you, how you comport yourself, how you present yourself, and the way you handle your case. It gives them confidence for them to vouch for you. So when somebody comes to ask them, say, who do I meet? They're going to refer the person to you. And if you don't have a good clientele base, if you don't have a good source of income, you won't be a good lawyer. Because what? You need a good financial base for you to be able to maintain a good office, for you to be able to live above average. You cannot go out begging. You cannot look like the wrath of God and think people will respect you, because the law is an impressionable thing. People first and foremost think of you and your content from your looks and what you have. Forget about, say, don't judge the book by its cover. With the law, the cover is 51% than the content. That's true. And that's why you see most lawyers, the way they package themselves, if you go deep, it's not real, but they've been able to sell themselves and given themselves some sort of a branding that resonates, and it gives them the credibility, street credibility that brings them the money that they are having. And you can't have that overnight. You can't have that overnight. Yeah.
All right. Now, who are your mentors in the profession?
Very many of them. Very many of them from school. When from school, we had very young teachers, very, very young teachers. People like Professor Ikarale. He became a professor at the age of 35, professor of law, and that rang a bell. They told us that if you are serious and hardworking, you can make it. Professor Sage too had always had confidence in me, and he was even one of the reasons why I went to teach himself. And he said, "So you're an academic material, go and teach." I went there, but teaching couldn't feed my family. I ran away. I went back.
That's to come back to practice.
I came back to practice. Out here, I have people that I have tremendous respect for. People like Kola Awodeye, one of the best advocates you can ever imagine. And the spice you add to it is absolute integrity, absolute simplicity, and fairness, you can deal with him. You can always deal with him. And most of the time, I see what I write, either as an address or brief. I say, oh, this is not up to 50% of what Kola can do, you know. And yeah, and it's so simple about it. And believe me, it's also a spellbinder. But you know what? He is an extremist. He works hard. I wonder he will take 4 days researching on the word East. And he would have gone through all the Commonwealth jurisdictions. Everything that the law has said about it, he would have studied. He is that thorough. You know, so most of the time, when I tell people, I said there are lawyers for lawyers. He is one of them. And I've also worked with almost all the big gentlemen out there. I've been working with Chief Wole Olanipeku from about 2007, and I used to handle most of the cases in Kebbi because of my relationship with the governor then there. And when they say to look for, when they say look for a team, you don't hesitate to go for him. And you know what he would tell you? He said he has never done any work. He does not accept even to be a chairman of anything outside the law. His life is about the law and for the law. As what you see him, even as at now, he has a better retentive memory than I have at this age. So when you see him selling his brand now, if you have worked with him, you will know why. I've also worked with what he also brings is hard work. We went to Sokoto. We went with his private plane. We got there. He said, go, gentlemen, go and take your bath. We did. He said, let's meet at 8 o'clock. He was there on top of thing till we finished everything the next morning. But everybody had gone to sleep. I said, this gentleman is here. I will not go to sleep. We were there until we finished the job at about 10, 11 the next day. We finished this, produce, sign, and I said, hey, let's go. And you know what? The next day was in Asaba. Do you understand? He is that hard working. Recently, I also stumbled on Dodo, Damien Dodo, and I said, wow, no wonder he is such simple on the face, very, very understated, very deep. He listens, good team player, but he has an high-end ability to pick issues. He would listen, read, and when he suggests an issue, you would ask yourself, but why haven't I thought about this?
Not about it.
Yeah, you understand? So you would not say, oh, no wonder these people are succeeding. I've also worked with Luman. Of course, I work with, this is the first time I'm working with Yusuf Ali. He's always been on the other side, but what Yusuf Ali brings to the table beyond the intellect and industry is simplicity and fairness. He is another quintessential gentleman. He's a gentleman to the core. And of course, I've also had younger colleagues who have motivated me. In 2007, I stumbled on a young man from Kaduna, Olani, and he was on the other side. But most times, if you are on this side, you would see the engine of the other side, and you are taught that some respect.
I like that.
Yeah. So when I had my subsequent cases, I poached him from the other side, and I've always been working with him. You know, so
Interesting.
he's, yeah, I've
Interesting.
always been working with him. He's good, and incidentally, we became sick the same time,
Okay.
and uh, of course, I have my own friends. I have Ide, but I'm trying to pull him out of his, what would I call it? He wants to give up, but I see him as a silk material. So I'm pushing him. But what I learned from him, he's cool from abroad. Is the poise with which it makes its own presentation, calmness. It brings that English attitude to advocacy, and I love that. And the young men, like one of the kids that I will say kid, but it's because he's a big man. He's senior to me on the silk. He worked with me 2007, and I discovered him then, and when I told his colleague then that he was going to go places, they thought I was playing favorites with him. But he became a senior advocate before me, and he was one of the people who pestered me to say, "Oga, you can't stay, make an application, please, 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 please." And